Hey everyone, it's your girl Desiree and I'm back with another video. So in this video, I want to talk about Ice Spice and why I feel like men have a love-hate relationship with her. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing is basically that Ice Spice, I feel like she fits the preference of a lot of guys, especially like in the brown community, because she is, slim thick, she's lighter skinned, she's pretty, she has a nice body. So I feel like because she fits like that preference aesthetic, a lot of the guys in our culture, like, they really like that. Oh, she's thick, she got a nice body. And I do agree, I think that she has a nice body. So that's why I feel like they really like her. And we see that a lot in our culture. I'm not saying that brown skin and deeper tone women don't get attention from guys. Of course they do, but we already know how it goes when women are lighter skinned, and if they have a banging body too and they're pretty, it's like we already know how that works, right? So I believe that that's one of the reasons why she's really liked, by the men. But it's just kind of interesting to me because how men will have like a preference and they'll like kind of put certain women on this like pedestal, but then, or like certain type of aesthetic on a pedestal, I should say. But then when it doesn't go the way they plan or it's not in the way that they would like, then they develop a disdain for that same woman. So this just keeps going back to the same contrast that I talked about in the video talking about women like Glorilla and City Girls and Ruby Rose and so forth. It's like people, they like the aesthetic, they like the experience, they like the entertainment, but they develop a disdain for the actual individuals because of what it represents. So it's just, I don't know, it's just interesting because it's like, but you're the one bigging them up. You're the one who is putting them on this pedestal. You're the one who's putting them further out into the media. You're the one who is supporting them, even if you're not spending money directly. But if you're constantly watching them, constantly pushing their stuff out by supporting it in that way, then you really can't get mad because in a way you're still supporting them. So a lot of men don't see it that way. Oh yeah, and I wanted to say too, like, since a lot of men, like, they're ruled by their flesh, like what makes them feel good on that type of level, they're gonna gravitate towards that. They're not gonna really focus on like, oh, what kind of person is she and all that. Like, men talk about, oh, I need a woman of substance and she has to have a personality. Like, let's be real, like, they focus a lot on women's looks. I'm not saying that they shouldn't look at a woman's looks because men are visual and women look at looks as well. But the problem is a lot of times that's their main focus, looks and how she can satisfy him physically. So then they wonder why sometimes they have the experiences they have and then they want to blame women for it. But it's like, but you're constantly always being ruled by your flesh. That's not the woman's fault, that's you. So yes, you can admire women. Yes, even women, we admire other women. But when that's your main focus and that's what you put on a pedestal and that's what you focus on, well, society will leverage that because society is going to leverage what they see people are gravitating towards. At the end of the day, it's about money. It's also about control, but I'm not going to get into that too much in this video. But at the end of the day, the industry, different facets of the entertainment industry, just society in general, they're going to leverage what they see people are gravitating towards, especially if it's something that pertains to gratifying the flesh, right? Because that really will play a major impact on what people are going to spend their money on. This is why they constantly always like to cater to, things that make you feel good in a sensational way. You know what I mean? When it comes to that level, or even like appetite, they cater to stuff like that. Buying certain things, shopping, like anything that gratifies the flesh, that's what they're going to cater to. So, and if you keep feeding into it as people, that's what's going to continue to be pushed. So I don't know. It's just people, sometimes we don't want to take accountability that we play a part sometimes in what is being pushed out there to us, because deep down that's what we like, because you wouldn't keep entertaining something that you don't like. Deep down, this is what you like. So another reason why I feel like men have like a love-hate relationship with Ice Spice is because she represents how some men treat women. This whole thing of like You thought I was feeling you? Nah, you a munch, you a eater. Like, that's how some men treat women. Like, oh, you thought I was feeling you? Like, nah, we was just kicking it. Like, you cool and everything, but you not the woman that I really want to be with, or you not the woman that I really love. And some guys even treat women like that, even in committed relationships. Like, oh, I was just with you because I needed a place to stay, or I was just with you because I was just having fun during that time of my life. Like, I was just married you because I just needed citizenship. Like, they'll downplay the fact that that woman really developed feelings for him and she really cared about him, but they'll downplay that. You know what I mean? Like, they won't even like show any type of like, thank you for this experience. Like, yeah, even if you did marry just for that, like, y'all still share so many good times together. Y'all still bonded so well, but he won't even acknowledge that because it's his ego. He's not going to allow himself to show that he really has feelings for this person. And sometimes he genuinely doesn't, which is sad. Some men lack empathy and they really genuinely don't even feel attached to the women that they're even laying down with, the women that they even are living with. Even in some cases when they even have children with the woman, they will still treat her like, you thought I was feeling you? Like, nah, like, I was just having fun. So a lot of times, like, men don't like to see a woman version of that. They want to see women to be, they want women to be so enamored by them and so head over heels over them and clingy, and her whole life is like surrounded and revolving around this guy. So when there's like a woman version of, like, I'm not attached to you, like, I'm just living my life, like, just living my life. You know what I mean? Like, I'm on my own time, and I'm not saying that the whole you thought I was feeling you, a munch, you a eater. I'm not saying that that's a healthy way of going about relationships. I'm just saying that that's the woman version of how a lot of men treat women. And when I say a lot of men, I'm not saying all, because sometimes people hear that and they think, dang, like, it sounds like she's saying almost all. But there is a good portion of men in society who do treat women like they're disposable. And when they do have a woman in their life that is long term or that they deem to be valuable, is based on what she can do to benefit him in a very like selfish way. Not even like, oh, how she could benefit me, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. It's like physically. She could benefit me this way physically based on how she looks and based on how she can please me intimately. And like, even if it's a man who's well off, it's like, oh, she makes me look good because of my image. It's not even based on like who she is as an individual. And the sad thing is, sometimes they'll make the woman believe that she really is more than what she is, and lie to her basically. Because obviously, if he tells her like, oh no, like, I don't really see you the same way, she may not stay or she may not get as attached. But if he tells like, oh yeah, I'm in love with you, and oh yeah, I want these things with you too, or maybe he'll tell her like, you know what, let's not worry about that right now. Let's focus on this and let's just enjoy this time now. And then it develops like this hope and wishing type of thing and looking forward to something. When in reality, that's not how he even sees her. So this is like a very common thing, even among younger, like, even like in high school and junior high, you see it, like younger girls and teenage girls like being treated the same way as well. Like, these young guys, like, they'll just excuse me, for example, like high school, it's just like another notch on their belt. It's not even like something that's even valuable to them. Like, oh, I'm just running through all these girls in school just to show that I'm this or I'm that. And it's actually very sad because these are individuals. These are actually human beings that you're just quote unquote running through like they're just objects, like they're disposable. Oh, you thought I was feeling you? Like, nah, like, girl, like, you're just an eater. Like, you're not somebody that I actually value and see as a human being, somebody worthy of respect. And this is why some women are becoming that way. I'm not saying that Ice Spice is like that in real life. Obviously, I don't know her in real life. I'm talking about the image that she has. That's another thing too. Like, some guys will get so mad at these women, not realizing that this is their image. Some of them are not even like that in their real life. Like, you don't know their real personal life, their dating life, and how they really treat men. You're going off of a song and an image. Once again, like, this is what people like to support. This is what people like to see. So they're going to push a certain image out there, even if that may not even, because she has other music too. I've actually looked at one or two of her songs and I didn't see the same views. Yeah, she had pretty good views, but I didn't see the same like push behind it. I didn't really see people going as hard for that as they did for Munch. So it's like people also they run to what they want to see, and then that's the kind of image that's continuing to be pushed out. So we see it more and more where a lot of women who are rappers or I mean, I don't really see it as much in R&B, but I do see it a lot in rap and hip hop, where it's a lot of like, just get money from these dudes, just get this money. Like, if he ain't making this, then he's not even gonna be an option. And I don't love these guys. I'm just, kind of like the city girl image as well. Like, that's just kind of how it is, and that's what people want to see. And it's not even just the women, because people say, oh, the majority of their fan base is women, and I agree, there's a lot of women who like them, but there's a lot of guys who also are liking them too because of how they look and the image, especially if they fit the preference aesthetic. So I don't know, I just I kind of find it kind of interesting, because it's just like, this is just basically how society is. If women have been treated poorly for so long, eventually they kind of feel like they have to take back that power and switch it back on the man. Do I feel like it's healthy? No, but it makes sense, because when you see how women have been treated for so many centuries as a collective, of course there were exceptions. There were men who, in every generation, there were always men who treated their women with respect. They treated other women with respect in general. Like, every generation had that. But as a collective, a lot of women have been treated poorly by men. Even to this day, you see, not just here in America, but in other countries, horrible ways that women are being treated. It's really, really actually scary. So a lot of women are taking that back. And I think that society needs to find a healthy balance. I think we're swinging from one pendulum to the next, but that's just how society is. So. So the last reason I feel like men have a love-hate relationship with Ice Spice is because of how quick she rose to fame, like how quickly she rose to fame. And I say it like that because it seems like she had some other music before then. So it seems like Munch was not her first thing from what I've seen. But that's how it is for a lot of people. Like, they put out other music and it may or may not hit the same way. But they put out this one song or two songs and people receive it a certain way. And now with TikTok, things are different now, because we saw a lot of people were like using that song on their TikToks, making like different skits and stuff to it. So that really helped her song get out there as well. I mean, YouTube, of course, a lot of people found her on YouTube. And they seen, she have a nice body and everything like that. Kind of like what I talked about earlier. She fits the aesthetic of the preference that a lot of these guys like. So that helps too. When a woman is deemed to be attractive, beauty is currency, right? So a woman is going to leverage that to her advantage if that's what she chooses to do. Women know that men are visual, and they know that the industry is highly visual, and the industry is also highly based off of sensuality. So they're going to use that to their advantage. If they know they have a nice body, if they know that they have a certain look. Women are not stupid. They know what men like. They know what women like too, because it's not just men, it's women too that also are enamored by these artists. Kind of like I talked about in the other video when I was talking about Glorilla, City Girls, and women who have a risque image. And this is the same thing with Ice Spice. She is considered to have a risque image, showing her body, and not even just risque in a sense of like sensuality, but risque in a sense of like her attitude. Like, oh, you thought I was feeling you? Like, you're a munch. You know what I mean? So like having that, like, I'm not attached to you. Like, dude, I don't really care about you. You're an eater. Like, even just that is a risque thing for a woman to say and carry herself in that type of way. So yeah. Men don't really like that sometimes. Like, oh, she gets to use that and leverage that to gain success and be popular. Like, I know, like, when she performed, I believe it was Rolling Loud, like, people were like, oh, look at her, she doesn't even have any talent, she's not even doing anything. The crowd didn't even like yell anything until she bent over. Well, that's what people want to see. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, whether or not you like it or not, but that's just how it is. And people continue to support it. People continue to push it with their support. Not just women, but men too. And that's what's going to be continues to be pushed out there. It is what it is. You don't like it, then why do you keep watching it and supporting it? And some people say, well, I'm not watching it and supporting, I'm just commenting on it. But if you keep watching it and commenting on it, you're pushing it out there more. And people know that and they just keep doing it. So it's just like whatever. So yeah, that's basically all I'm gonna say. With that, I'm gonna try not to keep this video too long. But the last thing I'm gonna say too, yeah, another thing I was gonna say is that I'm not gonna say like this is the case for all men who don't really like Ice Spice, but for some men, it's also a form of jealousy. They're upset that they can't use their looks to leverage to get success. Because I hear some men saying like, "Oh, I can't use my looks as a man to get there, but these women could just use it." Of course you can't, because your looks is not currency. You know, most women are not going to. Okay, yeah, there are men out there who are singers, for example, and they look good, so women like that and they support them. But it's also because they're also talented. Just think about it. Just think about all the R&B artists out there, majority of them, who are out there and they sing very, very well. They happen to be very attractive. So yes, women are attracted to that. But they're also attracted to the fact that, oh, he sings so well. He's so talented. Because women tend to, on average, be very like into like craft and artistic stuff and creativity. So it's not just about, oh, Usher, for example, he looked so good when we were younger, so we liked him. No, he was actually a good artist. You know, you listen to his songs, you're like, wow, this is some good music. And among a lot of other men artists who were considered to be attractive by girls and women, but they also many times are also talented. So that's the difference. But with men, it's like a woman doesn't have to have a certain level of craft. She can if she wants to, or if she happens to have it, but she doesn't really need it. As long as she has a certain preference and a certain aesthetic preference that they want, they're going to support that. So it's not the same thing. And it's funny how men will keep saying like men and women are different and men don't look for the same things that women do. They keep saying that, but then they get upset when they're treated differently than women. But you're the one who know that. It's kind of like how men complain about, I can't be taken out on dates and wined and dined and given flowers. Why would you want to be taken out on dates and wined and dined when you're getting to know a woman? I'm not saying that a woman can't do that over time after she's already gotten to know you and she wants to show like a level of appreciation by doing something nice for you. But if you're getting to know a woman and you're pursuing her and you're the man in the relationship, why would you want her to wine and dine you? It's almost like you want to be in the feminine role of the relationship. So it's kind of weird how some of these men, it's almost like they have a sense of jealousy that women don't have to do certain things in order to get the things that they want. But then in the same breath, men will say that, oh, well, men and women are different, so that's why the world is what it is. But how can you get mad at it then? You're the one who's saying that it's different. So it's either it's different or it's not, right? So if it's different and men and women are treated differently based off of those things, then you shouldn't be surprised and upset that a woman, like, I get it. You may feel like, oh, well, I have to work harder and do all this stuff as a man. Well, that's how men are designed. Men are designed to work and sweat at the brow. That's what they're designed to do. You know what I mean? I mean, in the fallen world, that is. I mean, originally that was not the plan, but in the fallen world, they're supposed to sweat at the brow. That's what they're supposed to do. So you're mad at having to work harder as a man when that's the role of a man in this fallen world, to work harder and to be the provider and the protectors. Like, I'm a little confused, you know? So I just find that kind of interesting. But anyways, I'm going to stop here. Let me know what y'all think about the whole Ice Spice situation. And yeah, and I'll come back with another video soon. Take care. Bye.